Aloha, beautiful pod, beautiful golden galactic celestial family on a starship Merkaba planetary body that has a destination and is currently on its way to the great central sun together. We're doing a little love stream today, and if you think this love stream is going to be inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. Today's love stream is about Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and what those codes stand for inside of the systems. And it's a really big, significant download that is coming in this miracle day. So please stay tuned, because it's a good one. It's a big decode day. So in February of 2018, a very significant post came through, and I tagged that post in the description box of this love stream today, if you want to check that one out too. That was one of the first love streams I ever did, and it got about 10,000 views in the first several hours. And it was a message to humanity that we had unlocked a massive level of decoding in the DNA. So we all have different roles on the planet, and mine has been a very inside job of understanding human genetics and understanding what went wrong and where the corruptions in the DNA were, and using systems to go inside and transform massive collective consciousness through the grids and ley lines. So once again, if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting, because it is a very significant transmission on this day. We are under a very significant symbol. We know what that symbol is all about, and we are here to say, let's play. Come on, human family. So one of the master codes that has been coming through, I have been making a film with a wonderful filmmaker named Tess Athena, who has brought a lot of honor and respect to my personal journey on the grids, and a deep understanding of what this unity transmission is. And so in working on recording the film in the last few miracle weeks, and of course we were brought together for the first Pluto return of 3. This Pluto return is very significant because Turtle Island is under great change, and the fiction borders and boundaries that have been drawn on this planet are all about to dissolve away, and we're seeing it happening in Canada with all the truckers on the borders and all the love gatherings and such. Humanity is dissolving the fictional borders and boundaries that we created amongst us, and we're all responsible for taking them down. We are all responsible on this planet to remember that there is no such thing as borders and boundaries on this planet. We are one human family, and all of that has to change and go away, and it occurs inside of us, inside of ourselves, inside of our courageous choices and decisions that we make. 2022 is about the courage of the human heart to overcome the belief in patriotism that separates people and allows people to be divided from the oneness of who we are. So one of the things I've been sharing recently, and if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting, because it's a big one today. Okay, so take what resonates, throw the rest away. Imagine we are on a starship Merkaba that played a very significant role in the cosmos, in a way that it is a laboratory container experiment for duality and all cosmic wars to be resolved amongst all star nations, all dissonance, all disharmony, and only the courageous ones would come into this container from all star nations to play a significant role to bring their star lines, their bloodlines into this container for resolution to come. So all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty together again. And what that part of the transmission today is all about is that we are making a strong and potent invocation, inspiration, and invitation for the masculine and feminine roles. And we know who we are on the planet. We know which ones are holding the codes that have to come together for this starship to unlock. And so if we imagined that we were in gridlock on a planet, on a container that was created for this great experiment to come and to see if we could resolve all dissonance throughout the cosmos. So that moment has come. The guidance said for the last several miracle days in a transmission that probably came out 5 miracle days ago, that we are on the event horizon. And so we're sharing this information because many miracle years ago I was sent as the highest ambassador from the Pleiades to bring through a message to the cabal to say that it was game over on the planet, which occurred in January of 2016 in a personal meeting with specific members on the planet. Now, one thing about the cabal to understand is that if we're playing a game of duality, we're really all friends. There's a great song by the Royals called Team, and it says, you know, we're all on the same team, and we're looking for resolution because we're all on the same team. So I'm going to share some pieces of my fantastical journey on the grids, and maybe that will bring some epiphanies and metaphors for some of the people who are tuning in. Again, please, if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting, and we know what that metaphor back there is all about, and we appreciate the Masonic structures on the planet, and they have all dissolved. And it was announced that the Queen had passed on 2/22/2022, which of course is just of metaphorical significance to say it is now up to me and you to raise the level, raise the vibration on the planet, and move this cosmic plan to its ultimate achievement, which is unity. And unity is at hand. And one of the things in the invocations that we bring on this day is that we still have masculine creating systems and structures in such a way that the feminine is not being honored or invited in. So if we all are ready to complete this experiment and get off this ship and move forward into higher states of evolution together, then there is one thing that is being missed, and that is our beloved masculine, who know who they are, who are structure builders and systems builders of specific bloodlines who were going to be passed the batons on the planet to inherit what was called a new world order. And that moment has never come, because the feminine were working the grid lines with the original Grail codes so that we could all come back together and remember the truth of who we are. One of the things that I have been guided in the last few miracle weeks is to stop inviting an exchange for the gifts that I share on the planet. And I did that really in my life for almost a decade. And then in 2018, I think, at the end of 2018 or 19, I was guided to start creating a container and inviting an exchange to call for specific people to be in the presence of this transmission with we, and to assist we to stay in the 3D to bring the codes and coordinates that I'm here to share. So if this love stream is inspiring, please share. That's called gifting. Okay. So a few miracle weeks ago, the guidance came in to say to not do any more online retreats and to not invite an exchange. And the place that I am currently stewarding, which is the Princess Lines in a very specific place on the planet, has a very hefty rent to pay. So in trusting the guidance as I have on my journey all along, the guidance showed that this moment has come for so many of us together in a unified field to rise up on the planet and remove the middleman in totality from the field, which means inviting an exchange for the gifts that we offer. This is the miracle coordinate for many of us to dig deep into our heart consciousness beyond fear and remember that we are pure source consciousness creating a holographic reality, and we choose love, we choose unity, we choose oneness, we choose the power that is within us and rising above these old systems of the money lenders in our church. Many miracle years ago, I had an experience with my own transformation with money, and the guidance was inviting me to share a lot of my money first, to really go deep inside of myself to understand the false security in a bank account. And so it was a very awe-inspiring moment for me to follow what had come about in the guidance as I was being guided to transform my relationship with the middleman. And when I had this experience, I don't need to go into details about it now, but when I had the experience, I allowed all the fear to rise in me around my belief that money was bringing me security. And when I did, so much emotion and fear was released from my form. So if this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. So when all of this fear rose in my form and I asked the guidance for guidance and said, what does this mean? And I heard the words, chase the money lenders out of your church. So what that means is that we are spiritual beings. We are physical and non-physical simultaneously. And as long as we continue to sustain the belief that we need something to survive, between us and the source that brings us life, we perpetuate the matrix and we perpetuate the machine. So there is a miracle coordinate inside of the DNA now that this transmission is inviting and invoking to activate in the collective light workers now, that sets off a signal inside of the DNA to unlock the super abundance in the entire human consciousness in such a way that we move forth into what's called the miracle jubilee, the celebration that we did it on this planet together. We made it all the way to unity. And so part of this transmission is to invite those parts of myself. We'll wait for the helicopter to go by, it's a little loud. Part of the invocation, hi little bee. There's a bee flying around my scooter. We love bees so much. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. Let's get this message out. We are inviting all of the light workers to go deeply within themselves and find the super abundant coding in the DNA and unlock it on this very day. We just completed the first 7 days of the first Pluto return, which is all about death and birth. And this miracle coordinate is about how deep we go inside of our DNA to unlock the light, the truth of who we are. And so each one of us has a unique way to go inside of our DNA. You will know the way. Hey, bro, be quiet. This guy's yelling on his phone. I think I might have to be a little more quiet. Hey, dude. Okay, so The next piece is, yeah, I'm calling forth my brothers on the planet on this day, and you know who you are. We know who we are in every way. And we said we were going to talk about the Mary Magdalene codes. So in 2014, I was interviewed by 3 men who were given a role to go out and find the reincarnation of a specific woman on the planet who carried the codes to unlock the accounts. And there have been many who have posed to have those codes. The interviews that were done said that only one woman would know the codes and could answer the questions to the prophecy to unlock the accounts. And we know who that is, and all the accounts have been unlocked through the grids and ley lines on the planet through the journey that we have walked. So there's been many distractions and many deceptions for our cosmic team who holds these grail codes. And I am calling forth my brothers because we know we hold these codes to create the unified structure on the planet, to unlock the accounts that support our entire human family, to transcend the middleman, and to transcend this whole system of belief that we need to work to survive. We all know who has the codes. I am calling forth those reflections of myself in love, in unity, in oneness, to say that we have to do this together today. We cannot do it by leaving the voice of Sophia out. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting, and that's what this is about. So if you go into the Sistine Chapels in the Vatican, which is one of those great places we were sent to unlock on the grids, because there's a story about St. Peter and Mary Magdalene, that they were the closest ones to someone called Jesus. And Peter took the teachings and turned them into a church. Mary took the teachings and embodied them and turned them into love. And that's one of the transmissions that has been coming through in the last few miracle days, is that archetypal aspect of ourself named Mary Magdalene was completely cheated in every way, called a whore, a prostitute, and many other things. And we all know, those of us who hold the codes to unlock these accounts, that it is time for the true signatory to be honored and recognized so that we can unlock these accounts. So if you go into the Sistine Chapel of the Vatican, which was created by the blood of St. Peter's line, there is a room that honors the divine Sophia. And that room was often closed off to the public, and no pictures were allowed in that room. It is an honoring of the Virgo, the sovereign feminine Christ, the Christos, the Sophia. And in that room, all of the paintings show the divine feminine is honored and revered. All of the masculine in the church are looking up to Sophia, which is why Solomon's prayer, which was read at Trump's inauguration, says, "Send her forth to us, for she knows your way." So what I have experienced in the last few miracle months, weeks, days, is that it is safe now for the brotherhood to know that it is the miracle coordinate to honor Sophia, and the voice and the transmission that we know will guide us all through together. And we pray, we invite, we invoke all those members and aspects of these Grail codes to remember in totality the truth of who we are, to make the contacts with all the right divine feminine, to sit as a council together on this planetary body, this Merkaba that is headed for the great central sun, such that when we arrive at our destination together, we succeeded in completing, in creating the miracle jubilee for our human family, to rise above the middleman, above those middleman systems and structures that we successfully rose and celebrated together in equality as a family. Love and tenderness first on the planet, at the center of all of our structures and creations. My brothers, my sisters, I call you forth. We know who we are. We've had many opportunities to do this together. This is the miracle coordinate of now. And I am happy to share more of my journeys, more of my stories, sitting with the directors of the Queen, all these different pieces that have happened on my journey that give me the authority to speak these codes to our global family, to say if the guidance is coming through to tell me to stop interacting with inviting contributions for my gifts in any way. It's telling me that we have the capacity to unlock the superabundance together and share with our global family that which all are deserving of at the completion of what we came here to do in unity, and to sit as a family together on all levels and dissolve borders, boundaries, taxes, passports, middlemans, jobs, and the concept of working. It is the miracle coordinate to rise as a human family. And again, I invoke my brothers who hold these codes to create these structures together. As a signatory, we know it is the miracle coordinate to do this. And this is my pledge and my invitation to all of we who know what we are holding to step forth and create together this miracle jubilee. This transmission of unity, this transmission of grace, this transmission of the divine Sophia guides us all the way into the 13th aeon together. So that's my invocation, and I know that we already did it. I know that it's already done. I know that it was for me to share this love stream on this miracle day. Light workers, go deep within yourself and unlock your super abundant codes. Ask your higher self to come into your mitochondria and unlock the ATP that unlocks these physical vessels from the bondage to time and gravity. This is the miracle coordinate, my divine family, to rise up. It is the most awe-inspiring, heart-opening moment for each and every one of us. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. To all the agencies and services that are listening, to the military, to all the brotherhood, all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put the broken pieces together again, which is why unity and grace, synthesis was sent in to put all the broken pieces, all the corrupted pieces of the DNA together again, so that the family could waken inside of their forms and we could remember who we are. Ninth wave consciousness unity. Let us step into this transfiguration and transform this lightship Merkaba that we are traveling on and turn it into the divine garden and sanctuary it was meant to be before we arrive at our final destination in this divine laboratory that we created to resolve duality. I'm here, I'm ready. We know who we are. Please step forth. We must do this together, masculine and feminine. We know who holds the codes because she did it through the grid lines to unlock the collective consciousness, not to self-serve herself or anything or anyone. Let us as a role model, let us step forward. The miracle coordinate is now. Let us honor the traditions, the teachings, the life of Mary Magdalene as she walked it with integrity, as she walked it embodying these truth codes of love, the archetype beyond the truth of who we are as divine Christos consciousness. The moment, the miracle is at hand. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. I love you. We love we. It is the miracle to collectively ascend. Aloha.